Afternoon, folks. Brian here. GeoMagnetic EarthWatch, Wednesday, May 14, 2025. So, folks, I was looking for one particular screenshot from the movie The Core to explain my hypothesis, what I believe is happening with our non-protective geomagnetic field. My suggestion is that we're now developing a multipolar field with weak spots here and there. I was looking for one particular clip, but I watched some others. And the premise of that movie is that change is taking place within the core of the planet, which affects our geomagnetic field, and so on and so on and so on. Now, they show examples in the extreme levels of what will happen when the protective magnetic field, they call the EM field or electromagnetic field, begins to substantially fail. They are showing you what I'm trying to convey to you are the beginning stages of what would happen when our protective magnetic field really starts to deteriorate and break down, or as what happens during geomagnetic excursions, you start developing multiple magnetic poles. And as I suspect, this creates, it creates weak zones over our planet, which are not permanent, stable, but they'll fluctuate, they'll move around. Now, again, they focus on the core, but the end result is what I believe is happening now. So I'm going to show you a few clips, then I'm going to come back and explain.
Around the Earth is an invisible field of energy. It's made up of electricity and magnetism, so it's called, creatively enough, the electromagnetic field. It's where we get our magnetic North Pole and South Pole, and it protects us from cosmic radiation. So this EM field is our friend.
But now that field is falling apart.
Why? The field becomes more and more unstable. We'll start seeing isolated incidents. One plane will fall from the sky, and then two, and then in a few months, everything electronic will be fried.
Static discharges in the atmosphere will create superstorms with hundreds of lightning strikes per square mile.
After that, it gets bad.
The Earth's EM field shields us from the solar winds, which are a lethal blend of radioactive particles and microwaves. When that shield collapses, microwave radiation will literally cook our planet.
Dr. Zimsky, this is the sun. This is the Earth without the EM field. Would you?
So let me explain some of these scenes. So before I do, one of the things I show you, and one thing I've been onto for many, many years now, is the heat coming up through the mantle plumes to the underside of the lithosphere in which the crust and the oceans lie upon. Okay, so we have an influx of cosmic energy, galactic cosmic energy, and from Sal coming in, absorbed into the outer core, which heats up the magma, pressurizes it, causes it to ascend up through the mantle plumes. Causes volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, fires. It's not just from underneath the Earth that we're going to get these heat penetrations. It's going to come up from up top. I suggested this one a few years ago to explain the fires in northern Canada and Northwest Territories where the magnetic field lines are weaker. I did come across an article. I will try and find the link. So the South Atlantic anomaly, which is over South America, the Atlantic, and going on into the west side of Africa, it's a South Atlantic anomaly. It's an area of our protective magnetic field where it's almost virtually non-existent. It's so weak. Periodically, there's heat detections in the Atlantic Ocean. Yes, it can be coming up mid-Atlantic ridges. It can be. It can also be radiation from above. Like in the movie, on the bridge scene, when you see the beam of radiation coming in, heating up the waters, and that burns the guy's arms. One of my daughter's visions, when people go outside, they become almost instantly burned. So in the movie, the professor, one of them, he says there's going to be isolated incidences of aircraft falling from the sky. The movie Leave the World Behind. So the incidence is this. This is my nap time, but I feel this is important, so I'm staying up. We haven't had aircraft falling from the sky. However, there's been an unusual number of aircraft incidents. Now, the one in Toronto, the Pearson Airport, where the plane literally flips over, well, that was a wind shear. But we're going to get that from the sudden destabilization of our from our jet streams. But there's been numerous other aircraft incidents, especially transatlantic. He also says that there's going to be static discharges in the atmosphere, which will create superstorms with hundreds of lightning strikes per square mile. Biblical references. So we're not at that point yet, but we are at the point where our jet streams is just destabilizing and shifting so much, creating these superstorms, almost superstorms, destructive weather events, intense storms. And as I said before, I believe one of those areas of the weakening field is over the British Isle, extending down into lower half of France, into Spain and Portugal. There's way too many incidences in that entire area of unexplained electrical substation fires, unexplained fires everywhere, unexplained power outages. And now there's a large chemical processing plant explosion in Spain. And the list is going on and on and on. England subways, power failures, and so on and so on and so on. Fires in the middle of the wintertime in Scotland 2 winters ago. Minus 18 degrees Celsius, brush fire. 2 winters ago, the southern tip of Ireland, great many heat detections, then fires. Are you feeling the intensity? Do you remember the border region between Spain and France? Hang on. Do you remember my report last February? Unexplained large spread of heat detections along the border of hang on. France and Spain, all throughout here. Remember that one? Another area. All around the Caribbean. Puerto Rico. Yeah, I know they have a poor infrastructure there. Nonetheless, right at the exact same time as that geomagnetic storm, and that buoy that keeps on going in motion on a regular basis, and all the heat detections around the Bahamas areas and the Florida Keys as well. Another area I would suggest. So I'm not trying to instill fear or panic or anything like that. I just connect what I see, my observations, my study, to the coming biblical times and events. Sometimes I feel like just like this. That I can really relate to Woody in the movie 2012. Anyway, that's why I feel sometimes. I always have lists of things to do around the home, one of which is get my bug out trailer stocked up. Go live like Woody Harrelson. Yeah, man. Hey, just I can broadcast to you geomagnetic earthwatch from the top of a mountain somewhere, right? Just waiting for it all to happen. So, like I said, all this started from, I was looking for one clip in that movie, The Core. And it does explain a lot. We're not at that point yet, The Core. But that's what I believe in. We're developing multiple polar field, several weak areas over our planet. We don't know how long one will stay in one area and when the next one will pop up. Nobody knows. Nobody. Pay attention to the orchestrated distraction. Watch the governments. Watch for the intensification of these underground $21 trillion cities and so forth. Not just food shortages to watch out for. 2 or 3 years ago, there was a concrete shortage. They need a lot of concrete to really accelerate their underground cities and things like that. Ignore everything you see on the news, what's happening. Except for the biblical events or those which are leading up to the biblical times. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to go on any further. Yeah, there is more. So I can tell you with absolute certainty, 100%, there has been a substantial great increase in seismic events around our planet, volcanic eruptions, heat rising, other volcanic unrest, sulfur dioxide emissions here and there where we don't have any volcanic eruptions yet. Increase in swarming, North End and Cascadia subduction zone, Caribbean, Puerto Rico, pay attention, British Isles all the way down to France, Spain, Mediterranean, Santorini is picking up again, but it's expanding. The earthquakes are working south of Santorini. Pakistan now threatening nuclear war, nuclear exchange with India, and the list goes on and on and on. Folks, it has to happen. We're going to be here. He that is in with me didn't say, I'll just sit back and relax till I come back and pick you up, Brian. No, no, no. Kind of reminds me of, so in the book of Revelation, it says power will be given to him to take away 1/4 of the life of the planet. Well, that's when the horsemen of the apocalypse start up. But during the earth pangs before then, how many people are going to die? See, in the book of Revelation, it doesn't say how many. It only says 1/4 of the population. And then later on in Revelation 9, what's left? 1/3. Through natural events, asteroid impacts, and so forth. But before then, power will be given to him to take away 1/4 of the life by different means, including wild animals. But how many people are going to perish before then? From the natural disasters and the wars. You will hear of the wars and the rumors of wars, but know that the end is not yet. Sal is getting closer and closer. It does not explain in the Bible what causes all these earth changes events. Only that they are going to happen. I'll be paying attention to that large coronal hole opening on the sun, which will be Earth-facing in another 3 days or so. It'll be aligned with Earth. Another couple of days afterwards for the accelerated solar winds carrying those highly charged particles, as spoken of in the movie in the core, to reach us. Then let's see what happens again. Again, there's no predictive modeling. Where the next weak area is going to be. This is why they came up with the SWARM mission, the series of satellites placed in orbit to monitor Earth's magnetic field. The brain, people, there's so much thought, informations, studies, theory. There's so much. And to try and get it out in a simplified manner, and yet it's sort of in another simplified manner. Hang on. And this one here. Now I think that's it. That is all, as you were.